Hello everybody, and welcome to today's stream. We're doing some stuff. I am your humble host, who is still trying to figure out audio. Yeah. So, yeah. But welcome everybody. I'm Gavin the Kitty, and I'm doing some art. And with me today is... That's usually when you say your name. Or not. Nebula, you can unmute and say your name. Also, hey, Blue.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Welcome. I won't be able to check chat throughout today, so if somebody could do that, whatnot. I noticed Tree Boy was here, so... Actually, you know what? I'll boot it up on my phone. Give me just a second. I know a red canvas is not that interesting to look at, but we were trying to get OBS to recognize my art program, because for some reason it said, nah, not today. Yeah. So let's see if I can get my phone to find the stream.
I could find the stream to throw it in the water.
Of course. But, yes.
Well, horrible, I know.
Yeah, just a bit.
Dad jokes for days.
Dad joke.
Hey, if we don't have dad jokes, then what are we? What kind of furry YouTube channel would this be without dad jokes?
A furry dad joke?
Any dad joke.
Any dad.
Oh, hey, Tree Boy. I don't know how you could be here. I know, right? It's crazy. I was not expecting that amount of views, so... Yeah. I'm sorry. Kite apparently can't watch today, but it's okay. It's alright. Let me pull this up. Delete that. Alrighty! Let's get started. So, how much Mega Man have you guys played?
I have never played it in my life.
You need to. Blue?
I've never played it either.
Both of you hurt my heart. Real bad. Blue, I'm bringing Mega Man 11 on when I get over there, and we're gonna fucking play it. I'm gonna watch you struggle, but you'll be good. It'll be good.
We were poor, okay?
I mean, hey, it came out on the NES, so okay, whatever. All right, so.
I was lucky I had Atari.
Oh boy. Okay. Alrighty. So normally, when I go into these videos like this, I would find an art style that works for me in terms of the character. But for this one, I think I'm gonna need a bit more. So, Mega Man's already got a very unique art style, very anime-esque influences. He works with a lot of curves. So, he's a blocky character, but like his whole head design is just curves. Like he's got the arching fin downward. Yeah, it breaks off at one point. He's got the two arches over for the helmet. He's got two curves for the side earpieces. He's got curves for the eyes.
Boys got curves for days.
And already I've got like a pretty standard looking Mega Man design right here. But I think we can do better. I think we can redesign, because not only was Mega Man redesigned multiple times across the entire decades, he was redesigned in such a way to appeal to different audiences and different markets. So, let me run through a couple of them, because they're fucking weird. So we had the Ruby Spears design, which had more of a muscular-esque. He also had more of a diamond-based for the center headpiece. We had the blocky green brick that was the Captain N cartoon, which is a very wrong appearance, like just all around awful. There was X, of course, for the Super Nintendo, with his red gem across the helmet and new side fins, allowing for easier viewing. And also changed the color of the earpieces to a darker color and changed the overall shape to be a more sharper angle, almost to mimic the X in his name is based on. Um, of course, there's Ian Flynn's great comic book artwork. There's Battle Network, Star Force's amazing looking designs, the really cool looks of Mega Man Zero. But I think for this, we could actually maybe take inspiration from all of them. So how about we start with which one do you guys want me to start with? I'll take chat. Hey Tomo. What do you guys want me to go with?
I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting here. I don't think I heard a thing that you said. I might have zoned out up there.
I see.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
how about we start with a redesign and we get on. How about we just start with classic then? We are redesigning Mega Man, Tomo.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
So I think our first step is recognizing what Mega Man is meant to do. So he is originally a housekeeping robot, known as Rock, and then he was transformed into a fighting combat robot, right? Well, with that, he gained the ability to copy other weapons. So he has a copy core. So how about we make that the central focus? The core, the center. You guys can speak up about anything you want. Like, this doesn't have to be strictly focused on something you guys have nothing to talk about.
uh,
Well, I'm mostly driving right now, so
Oh, where to?
I have you in the car.
Hmm?
I have you on in the car.
Okay. Well, Nebula, blue Nebula.
I'm gonna say my favorite genre and just make him steampunk.
Oh, we could do that too. I think actually, the most interesting one to do steampunk style would be Legends,
Oh yeah.
because he's got a much more blocky design to him. Of course, being half human will do that. So. So, I would I'd say if you want to come co-host with me, man, just keep the conversation going.
conversation.
Yeah. So like,
That reminds me of a song.
No, well, like, what are you interested in, man? Because I know very little about you.
Oh, that's a good question.
Hey, Foxno.
I like reading. I did like reading.
Tomo, we in fact are doing the same thing we did with the Santa drawings. Reading. I'm more of a comic book kind of guy when it comes to reading myself, because I'm not much of a book
I've
person.
never read a comic book, to be fair.
Really? They're good.
Yeah.
I read a lot
I'm more of a novel type guy.
Okay.
Like, I love novels.
I don't. I really don't. A lot of the writing in books seem really, really pretentious. Pretentious. Like just absolutely up its own ass.
How so?
Oh, just like, okay. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there are good books out there, but when it comes to strictly just reading and whatnot, it just something about it just falls apart for me. It's always up its own ass. It's like, oh, I have to use a big word here because I have to use a big word here, not because it makes any sense,
Ah,
just for no apparent reason.
okay. I've read a lot of Tom Clancy books.
Oh, you mean the video game series that I keep making fun of because it's fucking god awful and the books are even worse?
Hey.
Hey, I've read a Tom Clancy book. It was garbage.
And sure,
So gung ho
Depends.
military bullshit. Sorry, I cannot. Bullshit.
Cool.
It's all bullshit.
I've
sure.
read, I've read a vampire trilogy before. What would you go for?
Foxino,
Maybe.
I'm good. How are you guys in chat?
Doodly-doo. I'm still downloading stuff.
I mean, you can like books. I don't know. I don't see the appeal. My boyfriend is a writer, and I don't see the appeal. I'm more of a comic book and manga style person, and
So the difference between you and me is that you like pictures when you're reading.
I
That's what it sounds like, at least.
well, I like it when the books don't have to spell out every little fucking detail. Like, don't spend an hour describing a cave, or else I'm gonna get lost in that description of a fucking cave and move on with my day.
Hmm. So not a lot of what do you call it?
Like, you can
Not
just
a lot of narrative. I think that's what it's called.
like, I like a good story, but if you're gonna spend 20, like, okay, you can set the scene super easily, but the minute you start going on about tiny little minute details, I'm gonna assume the book is up its own ass and just doing this for padding. And I hate padding, so make padding with a purpose. Make it say something about the world or the people instead of just going, yes, it was a very dark, damp day. It's like, we get it. It was fucking atrocious out. Like, fucking move on.
It was dark.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if I, like, 90% of the time I will prefer to watch a movie.
It was dark. So dark you couldn't see the end in your face. Darker than the blackest cat.
Look!
Darker than...
Exactly. It just keeps fucking going, and eventually I'm just gonna lose interest and go, okay, it was fucking dark, and start skimming through shit, which is what I used to do in school, so. It wasn't until I got to a creative writing class that I actually started to enjoy writing and reading, but by that point I was a senior in high school, and since then the only books I've read are comic books, because that's the only thing I enjoy. Musical books, okay, history books.
My cousin had a ton of comic books just because he was into that kind of thing. Like, he was into the whole Marvel, DC stuff.
Oh yeah, the superhero comics are great, but like, I don't know. I like seeing adaptations of things. So when it comes to comic books, I like stuff like the Sonic series, where it adapts the games, but does it in an interesting way. I like seeing other artists takes on things. So anytime there's like an adaptation of something, I will always be all for it. Like the Power Rangers movie that came out in 2017. I loved that movie. Fans hated it, but I really liked it, to the point where I wanted to see more of that universe, and went and decided, okay, let's read the comics and see where they were going to go with it, and where they were going with it seemed kind of interesting, kind of neat. But since they didn't get a chance to redo it, they're just doing another reboot, and it's like, okay, but don't make it the same.
I see what you mean.
So, Like, I've read a noveled adaptation of Blaster Master, one of my favorite video games of all time, and while it was good, it also snuck in new characters and stuff. And this is my favorite example of this because that adaptation was so good, they introduced them in the remake of Blaster Master that came out on Switch, called Blaster Master Zero, and started to combine things from the other games in the series and whatnot. All around, just good adaptations can lead to better inspiration. But most of the time, I hear people who like books. You know, they go into a movie theater and they don't expect any changes to their book. But I look at them and I go, okay, but we don't want a shot of a rock about 4,000 times. They want a fucking story. So let them adapt it how they want.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you sat and redid a book, page by page, like, as close as you could possibly make it, you will end up with the worst movie ever. And that's not much of an exaggeration. Alright, so he got his core. Let's give him some shoulder pads here. Which is kind of what we're doing here today, is adapting these characters, not so much for a new audience, but just for fun. Just
For
be
fun.
Yeah, it's just for
I
fun.
love.
'Cause
Did you know that fun is fun?
fun is fun, fun is fun. Did you know that not fun is not fun?
Depends
On what?
on if it's fun or not.
Well, why would not fun be fun?
Why
Because
wouldn't
some
it?
people are like that.
I mean, some people like to spoil movies, so...
I will bite them.
I will bite them.
Oh, boy. But yeah, so we got Hollow Knight going on tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to jumping back into that game super soon. And then I believe Friday is going to be a multiplayer Jackbox day, so... Man is secretly a milkman. I would believe that, Tomo. I definitely would. So I figure if we're going to be redesigning the character, giving him armor is a good step forward. Since what he had previously was a bit lighter. And I figure giving him a scarf, kind of like Proto Man, also goes a long way to differentiating this hero between his classic adaptation. Yes, adaptation. So, there are lots of different adaptations of heroes. I actually got to meet somebody who got to adaptate this hero for Cartoon Network's very own cartoon series of it.
Ooh.
They worked on a show called Mega Man Fully Charged, and and believe it or not, I actually really liked that show. To the point where I was really upset when it didn't get a sequel, but just a comic book, and I was like, ah. And I know for a fact it is not getting its own, it is not getting a DVD release, which is really sad, because I really wanted it on DVD. I really wanted that shit on Blu-ray, and it just is not happening, because the series failed so hard. Mostly because of the time slot. They aired it, like, fucking 5 in the morning on a Saturday.
Wow.
No. And then decided, nah, we don't need to put it on any streaming services. And then put half the seasons on Amazon Prime, and then took it off. And it's not on HBO or anything, so there's no point in looking for it. You either have to pirate it or wait for reruns, and yeah. they introduced all sorts of characters and all sorts of stuff that would be really fun in a game, but I'll never see it happen. I drew up some concepts for a game in that version of the universe, and yeah, no, just never gonna happen. So with this copy core, let's make this a nice even center here. I wish you guys had something more to say about anything, really.
Well, give me a topic.
Well, I mean, we're talking about adaptations in Mega Man and stuff, but video games in general is a pretty good topic.
Okay.
Like, what's your favorite game?
Honestly, if I had to choose, it would probably be, right now, it has to be Red Dead Redemption.
Just right now? What was it before?
Yeah, just right now. Before, I think it was, Fallout 4.
Alright, so you're very, very, very new. Gotcha. A lot of stuff a lot of stuff I haven't really... Yeah, new. A lot of stuff I haven't really played, so... Nothing I've got much of an opinion on.
Oh.
All that stuff's new. Like, I hate to say it. I mean, hell, the original Fallout came out on PCs back in, like, 98. So, like, Fallout...
I did play New Vegas. I liked New Vegas for what it was.
Also haven't played that either. When I said that's very new, that's, like, new.
For a game that you can't sprint in, whereas every other Fallout you can, it's kind of... Yeah.
All I know about Fallout is that it's got 14 times the details, or whatever Todd Howard wants to spew and lie about today.
Todd Howard, he owns Bethesda, right?
Oh, you have absolutely no idea about that E3, do you?
No.
Oh, that's something for you to look up. So Todd Howard, I think he was president of Bethesda for a good time, but he was kind of like the spokesman. I think he still kind of is. But
Yeah.
he came out on stage and said, "We've got 14 times the detail for Fallout 76," and the game came out and it was utter shit. To the point where they made too many copies and started giving them away in Germany. The game is not good.
When it came out, it wasn't good. Like, there was nothing to it. But that can be said with any game.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, but there was more controversies than just that the game wasn't good. I mean, okay, any game? No. Fucking Mario Odyssey came out. That game is fantastic. It didn't even need a day one patch because it was working. Mega Man 11, same thing. Sonic Mania, same thing, as long as you weren't playing the PC version, which they generally sabotage with De Novo at first. But as far as Fallout goes, no, they need to start releasing new, proper games that are finished upon release. Recognize their faults and failings.
That's kind of difficult for them to do, because when your entire shtick is making multiplayer games...
But their entire shtick isn't making multiplayer games.
That's another thing, too.
Their entire shtick was, we still make single player games. And then all of a sudden Fallout 76 comes out and it's completely multiplayer, and they didn't have NPCs. Like, Okay,
that was I'm gonna agree with you. The part where it had no NPCs, that was probably the worst decision they could have made.
honestly, the decision where they decided to stray away from just making a good game and trying to make a live service cash cow is where they failed there.
Did you hear about the people getting attacked for even having Fallout first?
Yeah,
Like
because
they would find them in game and just
because
fuck.
it's a garbage program. I don't blame the fans for not wanting something that utterly breaks the game.
No, I mean like players themselves who had the subscription were getting attacked, like out of just pure randomness.
It wasn't out of sheer randomness. It was out of the fact that they didn't like the program and wanted people to actually paid money for who actually wanted a good fucking game to actually, enjoy the fucking game without having it be level capped and this and that.
Mm.
I'm completely for the people that didn't want that in the game and are attacking other people. I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, no, they shouldn't attack people. But if their whole plan is to get Bethesda to notice that, hey, they really fucked up here, I mean, kind of sort of worked just a bit.
A little bit.
Especially since they said that all of their microtransactions were going to be cosmetic only back at that E3 and
Yeah.
lied about it. Like absolutely just straight up lied. Like that shouldn't be taken lightly. Of course the fans are going to attack the fans that buy it. Because they want Bethesda to understand, they want Bethesda and the other fans to know that they're not happy about it. They're not happy with being lied to.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think anyone is happy about being lied to. But like
Well, no,
to
but
perfect
but there's no
to perfect
reason.
the game, it takes time.
Okay, then release a finished game. Don't release a glitchy and broken mess. Don't excuse them for making a glitchy and broken mess. When other developers can put out fully fledged experiences that play just fine. Hell, Resident Evil 8. It's not the most perfect game in the world, but at least it's finished and there's not so many glitches that it's fucking broken everywhere. The game is polished and it came out just fine. And it's the same damn price as Fallout 76. And yes, it even came with a multiplayer mode. There's no reason for Bethesda to not. They make way too much money for them to release unpolished, broken messes. Especially since they released a game like Doom, and that's actually a really great game, especially Doom Eternal.
Hmm. I'm trying to think. But the community has to be at fault too because
In
they're
what?
like, well, if you don't, well, they're kind of they kind of bully the companies into releasing things early, and then they
But
complain about it when it's like not what they want it to be.
but they didn't bully the company into it. See, this was Todd Howard going, "We need a game out by the end of the year to please the investors." Because they want money. And they figure they can release broken trash to the public. And they say the fans are stupid enough to buy it.
To an extent, that is true.
I mean, I guess to an extent, but I still say release a finished game first and foremost. I get tired of seeing so many games that come out and they're just unfinished and unpolished messes of code. It's not fair to anybody. The developers especially. Things that EA put out are god awful abominations, and it all comes down to the fact that they don't care. They know that people will buy it anyways. People will pay in for those microtransactions because they think that they're gullible enough to do it. It's like the whole thing where they put out press releases and stuff, and they put out review codes, and the reviewers get to review the game, and then all of a sudden there's microtransactions out the ass.
Yeah.
That's not fair to anybody. But we're coming almost to the end of this design here. And I stand for we are now unchained.
I've played Mortal Kombat before.
Mortal Kombat? It's alright.
Yeah.
More of a Street Fighter kind of guy myself. I think Street Fighter 6 is going to be really freaking good. Have you seen that the teaser for that game yet?
Street Fighter? I think I have.
The only thing people are upset about is that damn logo, and I'm just going, oh man, I can't wait to see gameplay.
I mean, it does look good, like, obviously, but...
But there's not much to talk about, because that's like all we have.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
So for the hand here, I'm going to redesign it slightly. So it's still a hand, right? But why not put that copy core to use? Why not make it so that way then the core kind of pieces out? Like sticks out, it's got some energy on it.
A claw. What the fuck keeps blowing up? Oh.
The
never
claw.
mind.
The claw.
No, that was the first thing I thought it was. It was like claw.
Claw. The claw.
Oh, that claw.
Again, I still need to see Toy Story 4. I heard it's pretty good.
Isn't that the one with the purple bear?
No, that's 3.
Oh, that's 3?
That's
oh, fuck. I need to catch up on my lore.
Catch up on that good old Toy Story lore. I believe like a lot of people were like, "Hey, why are they putting out Toy Story 4? 3 was a perfect ending." But apparently, after people saw 4, it was like, "Oh, it makes sense now."
Yeah.
So, all right. So with this, I believe we've got a design worthy of being done.
Yay.
I'd say. That's just one design here. So, we've done classic. So, let's just... So, we've added the scarf. We've added a central core. We've given him shoulder pads for armor. A nice copy hand. The regular blaster on the right arm. We gave him more details around the... for the lines that go along the body, showing he's more robotic. And of course, all around it just looks like a pretty good design. But I think we can do better with our next redesign. So, when it comes to Mega Man, they didn't stop at just classic. In terms of game lore, they continued onwards quite a bit and made X a more humanoid robot with free will, free thinking. It is, in all due respect, a better machine. So he can. So while the classic series robots can't ponder their own existence, they if you were to ask them the question, I forget what it was. The age-old question of the age-old thought of "I think, therefore I am." They could not ponder that. It just wasn't something that they could do. Basically, they'd freeze up and need a whole reboot. X, on the other hand, ponders his existence all of the time. Like to the point where he ponders the point of fighting, the point of all of the war that goes on around him, the point of just continuing.
Continuation.
Yes. So, what is a robot to do? What is a man to do? When he is surrounded by war and must think. And he must.
Robots can think?
This machine can. He can ponder and think his own existence.
Neat.
He was locked away for 100 years, so that way then his systems could be tested for ethics.
Oh. Ethics.
Yes, ethics. Ethics are a pretty good topic. Especially when it comes to robots and machinery. I think giving machines free will is something we need to do eventually. But to do that, we need to have them tested for ethics. We must never ponder... We must never think of... We should always think of whether we should do something. But we should also question, is it right to make a machine do it? So, for a heavier future, he is far more modifiable than classic. He has armor pieces and upgrades that allow him to change not only his look, but his function. There's things like the Gia armor, which makes him invulnerable to spikes and have a much more powerful charge up, but it takes away his copy ability because it's heavy armor. You can't get through. Basically, too much self-interference. He's got the first armor, which allows him to dash and unlock his first set of potential. His name itself stands for X. Limitless potential.
Mega Man lore, I never thought I'd do.
There's a lot of lore, and it's very consistent. Very, like, to the point where it's kind of astounding that it's been going on for 35 years, and it is still very consistent with itself. But X is a warrior. He's a combat machine. He's built with a gun for an arm, but he was built to help the future proceed with itself. If there was fighting, he'd stop it. He just wants what his creator wants, a future where robots and humans can live and coexist together peacefully. Samus? No, no, Harry. We're actually talking about Mega Man X. Would you like to join in?
I think he just got off work.
Ooh, perfect timing then.
Hey, Gavin.
Yeah, what's up?
Would you mind putting it on Discord, your stream?
I can give it a shot.
If you can.
You might end up just seeing my full screen. Because Krita doesn't like my art program, but neither did OBS this morning, so...
Oh, it's working.
There it goes.
Beautiful. Thank you, hon.
But I think X is the more interesting specimen. So, robots are built based on X's specifications, so they can more properly think and handle things that other machines can't. And they're known as Reploids.
Reploids.
Yep.
It's an interesting name.
Uh, Replicated robot, essentially.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. I was like, replication. That's what it has to be.
Yeah, it's all based on X's specifications for his AI. But that does not mean that every machine is the same. Quite the contrary, they all think and feel differently, just as a human would. So the question then becomes, if there is a robot revolt led by a machine, and they have free will, should they be treated as citizens? Should they be treated as equals to humans, despite being built by humans? I mean, if your computer or toaster started talking to you and said it could think and feel for itself and has enough processing power to comprehend what it is, does it have a right to live?
I would think that anything that has like a free will of mind should have the right to live.
I would say so too, but not everybody feels the same way, and eventually the first Reploid ever made, Sigma, ends up starting a revolt. Sigma was actually the first one to ever be built after X. And with that comes quite a big issue there.
Yeah, whoa dear. Dang it, I have live chat activated again. Where?
I'm trying to keep up with chat too. Sorry, I haven't been great at doing that today. So, right here we've got, essentially, what I've done is instead of keeping it as just the simple helmet design, I've instead branched out this piece here from the ear, instead of making it from the base of this piece. I've attached it to the earpiece itself, as if it were a comm unit.
That's cool.
I think the next thing we should do is recognize that he has the same copy core as Classic, so we should probably keep that core design. But maybe upgrade it a bit, because X is all around. Because X is all. Rhombus. Because X is all around a core upgrade to Classic, despite them being very different machines.
So I just woke up.
Yeah.
Or just woke up.
Yep, I just got home from like 7 in the morning. And the minute I touched my bed, I was dead. I was gone. Bye. Clock out. Let's go home. And woke up like a little less than an hour ago, and then I got a notification from the kitty himself. I was like, oh shit, yeah, we're jumping in this.
Then he seen me, and then he seen me here, and he's just like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Yeah. I
Well,
won't even sugarcoat you.
I needed somebody, and nobody responds when I say, hey, I'm getting ready, and he's the first one. I was like, okay, well, I might as well.
I'll vouch for him. He is the sweetest bean. But you are an asshole, and you
Okay,
know
but-
that.
Yeah, well, you got that part right.
So how was your date?
Next question.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
I'm gonna say that wasn't. I'm gonna say it went good, but it's not safe for work. So
Hey, I
It's
will
work.
accept it. So
It's safe for work, I promise.
sure.
It's just like
sure.
I'm bound by HIPAA law, so I can't talk about the majority of it, but I can tell you all this. You use the Q word in the medical industry, you will literally be stabbed by the staff.
Did
We
you-
will find you, and we will medically make sure you don't work right again. And so one of the nurses who were leaving as we were walking in goes, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be real quiet tonight."
No, that's a scary. No, that's the scary word.
We
Oh,
all looked at her, and I swear, at first it was busy. It was busting, and when you're in that motion, you kind of your body gets ready to just exert a lot of energy, right?
yeah, and it never stops until eventually it stops, and then you just want to
Here's the
collapse.
kicker. Not about like the first third of the shift, it was nonstop hard. Everyone wanting something, people getting turned over, people want to get out of bed, people want to get back in the bed, and then dead silence for the rest of the shift. So
Holy.
you're like, oh, like you have high energy output, and you think like, oh yeah, you could just come down from that. No, it's like coming off an adrenaline high. You are ready for like crap to hit the fan, and now you have the quiet paranoia in the back of your mind going, what really bad thing's gonna happen on this shift? So we're all like on our edge of our seats, just making sure our paperwork's done. I mean, I got thrown some like new paperwork today that is pissing me off because they gave me bad codes, so I can't get in the system. And yeah, I was driving home and I was falling asleep behind the wheel, but I didn't do anything most of the day. So like it was a trip.
Nice. Well,
I hope today's better.
my day has been very chill.
Good.
I woke up. I woke up to Truman, and then got ready for my day, and I've just been sitting here getting set up most of it. Sprayed some bug kill around my door, so that way then we forgot to. So it only lasts for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Well, my roommates decided to not spray it again.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so the last time we had sprayed it was in the winter. Well, it's almost springtime, and now there's bugs out. So there were some ants crawling on our trash can, and Brent's freaking the fuck out and getting pissed off at me last night. And I go, man, just spray the damn bugs and the door properly, and it will work. My boyfriend did not. My boyfriend sprayed it last. He did not do it properly. Bless his heart, he tried, but he didn't do it fucking properly. He didn't get all the fucking cracks and shit. So I go over there, and I spray the damn trash can a couple times, and lo and behold, after the first spray, all of them are dead.
So there you go.
And Brent came home and said, your stupid spray didn't work. And he just looked at me, oh. I was like, yeah, you want to say it again?
We love proving people wrong.
Oh, yeah. So, I no longer have ants.
Great. Because I live in like a reclaimed field, so no matter how hard you try to get rid of these suckers, they're just here. You learn to live around them.
Yeah. Wow. I got really upset with him because it was just like, damn it, Brent, just leave me be.
Yeah.
So I figured I could have a little bit of the X8 design pie, where he's got a piece of plating around the buster.
Yeah.
But I can keep that rounded shape still, so long as I keep the the curves all working in tandem. Figure we could also add maybe a small panel on the inner arm. Maybe make it like a LCD for picking weapons and keeping track of his health. Because I figure it's 200. It's 2200 2100X, so I might as well keep the designs all nice and flowy.
Oh, didn't see Mutt. Mutt asked, "What is he drawing now?" I've been gone for a little bit.
We are moving. We've moved past classic, and we are on to X. And this is what I got so far. So yes, this is where we're at, Tomo. Not to worry, you have not missed much. But I'm gonna go through and try to redesign all of them. So I figure this robot is Dr. Light's last creation. So after this, we're gonna be moving away from the more blocky aesthetic and into more smoother, far more futuristic looking designs. Because even by the time the end of the X series happens, older Reploids like X have the ability to improve their state of being.
Yeah.
Like X by the end of the X series, he is a bit smaller, he's a bit slimmer, he's not quite as bulky.
Yeah.
But that goes for everybody. So Zero, Axel, all of them. It actually gets to the point where X dies. Like, the AI has become so advanced that when it dies, it has a soul.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they call that soul an elf. Well, humans found out that those elves can power shit. So they start capturing these cyber elves and use them as a workforce. Well, eventually they start. Some people start finding out about this, and they say, you know what? We're in an energy crisis. How about we just get rid of all the robots, and we'll have infinite energy?
Oh, fun. Nothing wrong with that, right?
So now, not only have we given these robots free will and nearly 100 years of living in peace and tandem with humans, but now we're committing mass genocide because we've deemed these people human. Yeah. So the Mega Man series starts to get fucking heavy at this point.
A little bit.
Just a bit, you know.
I'm getting some Walt Disney vibes here.
Yeah.
Bring back this feature. Heavy? Did somebody increase the gravity?
Well, they end up finding out about an older invention Dr. Light had made, and that ends up saving everybody, but it's the dumbest bullshit, and it proves how fucking stupid Dr. Light was at times. But essentially, he created it's a solar panel next to an incandescent bulb.
Yes.
And then it's leaned off of that power and then onto the bulb. So basically a AA battery, and then they weaned that off, and the solar power, a solar powered light that is storing power. And how is the solar panel getting light? The light bulb. And how is the light bulb getting powered? The solar panel.
My God, it's still a machine.
I wish I could make that one up. I wish. The comics made fun of it. Like, that's how fucking stupid it is. But still.
It's actual potential energy.
Yeah.
Let me get some sauce.
So how about why... So we've got Classic over there with some more... With a copy hand. What if we improve on that design and give him a wrist?
No comment. My brain just went to the gutter.
So now he can go Yaw.
Yeah.
Instead of Mega Man, he could be Mega Gay Man.
No.
Mega Gay.
No.
Oh, well, I have an idea for the next stream.
What's that?
Since we're drawing JoJo, and now we're drawing Mega Man, we need to draw Mega Joe.
Mega Joe.
Jotaro, I'm from the future.
Mega Man and Drag. This is JoJo.
Tomo,
Yes.
Tomo, we're not picking like last time. This is merely a redesign based on something I've wanted to do for a while. It's all right, man. We'll see you later, Tomo.
All right, I have to jump off too.
Oh,
I love y'all. An amazing stream. So please like, subscribe.
yeah.
We'll catch you in the next one on my end.
All right. See you later, Harry. All right. As we're getting back to this. So I've always liked the gloveless look aesthetic. So how about we go with that?
I did not end up streaming yesterday. It was total fail.
Aw.
Plus, I got tired really fast. And I was only like trying for like a half hour, and I fell asleep. But today I have more energy.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you got more energy today.
But for a really early birthday present, my parents got me a new Lego,
Oh, nice. Which one?
the DeLorean.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, look what's coming out. They're like, okay, you're getting an early birthday present.
All right. So we gave Classic the scarf, but X actually does have a energy-based scarf when he dashes in command mission. So why not give him that? All right. There's that. So we've kept that classic influence up until now. But we're about to jump to 22XX and work on a completely different design. So.
Oh.
Actually. And that's what she wrote for X.
Nice. Very nice.
So far we've had a direct step up here. So let's move sideways next. I don't know if I'll do ZX, but that's mostly because they're a bit more complicated. So, when it comes to ZX, they basically just harnessed the Cyber Elves to give them a new life by allowing them to merge with humans and Reploids. But, yeah, it's certainly something. We'll do 0 next. I think I need a good pose for this one. So, 0 was X's partner back in the classic days. Back in the X days. But by this point, he has lost his memory, been sealed away for a good amount of time. And since then has been upgraded to a new body. Which I think suits him. He is the long-haired Reploid created by Dr. Wily, made to continue his legacy. He doesn't end up fulfilling that legacy very well, but that's fine, because he becomes humanity's last hope at the end of time. Or what might have been the end of time if he didn't save it. But 0 is very proficient in all sorts of weapons. Everything from his Z-Saber to his busters to busters to sabers to brand new toys like the shield boomerang and the chain whip. He's even got a pogo style rod that he can use. So he's very adaptable. And I'm actually going to draw in the shield boomerang right here. But 0's got long hair and all sorts of fun little goodies to mess with. So how about we start working on his head? I think when it comes to a good redesign, the character has to still look recognizable, but distinctly different. Like Dante from the DMC reboot, not super recognizable that would be Dante. Still a good game, but not a good redesign. Mega Man from Fully Charged, that's a good design. Sonic from Sonic Boom, that's an alright design, but they could have done more to distinguish it. And hello. I'm just working on some redesigns today. What are you guys' favorite redesigns? Blue? Oh, Nebula left.
Just Spyro. They did a really good job on it, I think, on upgrading him and.
You're talking about the Skylanders version, right?
Well, I didn't really care about the Sky. Okay, the Skylanders one I wasn't too keen on, but oh hell, just have the game series.
No, that is Blue. That's my friend Blue. My boyfriend is currently at work. But no, Blue, I'm talking about character redesigns.
Oh, like total reasons. Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah. Like Reignited is a good take on a redesign, but it's not much of a redesign. It's more of a upgrade of the original art.
Right. I don't know. I can't think of one on top of my head.
Well, I could name one for you that I didn't care for at first, but it grew on. So if you guys ever seen the Rise of the TMNT, that I thought was a good redesign of those characters. Meanwhile, the CGI reboot that they did, not so much. Let's go with the more sword-like saber. So he's got like an energy sword, right? So let's... We'll keep the little fins along the side. I feel that's a good prospect. So, when it comes to redesigning Zero, I feel he's got a trickier bit because even Zero, fans of Zero from the X series, they had a good 10-15 years with him before they ended up redoing the design for the Zero series in the Game Boy Advance. And I feel they did a really good job with it. So Zero doesn't have a copy core. He is just Zero. Proficient in all weapons, but he can mimic moves like nobody's business. Which, I don't know, I think that's pretty neat. Ugh. Maybe we'll give him some more padding along the edges here. Alright. With that, I think we've got the body pretty much down. Still give him the cufflinks. Alright, I'm gonna have to change the music here in a second. So I'm gonna make this look more like a... So the shield boomerang kind of spins. It's used in a very separate, interesting way. That I feel. Alright, there's that. I feel if we give it a more flower-esque look, it'll be good. Actually, speaking of the Zero series, I feel that the whole War of the Elves and the Energy Crisis is a super interesting take on the future. So, like, they know that certain things are wrong, but they do them anyways. I always kind of questioned that. Of course, I think back in human history, and of course, there's a lot of things that even like people nowadays have done that is wrong, but they still do it anyways. Of course, I'm not I'm not on some moral high ground. Like even I've done some god awful things, but so far so good. Now it's time for the head. For the head, I always like to start with his. Let's start with his signature, like bowing front. I think detaching them from the rest of the helmet really goes a long way to showing that Zero is very different than when we first met him. Right. Better. I think we'll give him the same event. And sticking with that more detached Radiocom vibe goes a long way to distinguishing Zero from his previous version. Even if we didn't give it a redesign here. I always thought the Zero games were really, really good. They were super hard, but like the new collection they put out, oh my god, it's like the best way to play those games. Like it's fast, it's quick. You've got the cards from the Japanese version of 03. Just all around a good version of the game to play. And with that, we've got a version of Zero that is quite a bit different. What do you think so far?
Oh yes.
We got the boys here.
Squad.
I think I'm gonna skip out on ZX just because because that would be doing a bit much. And we'll just jump straight into Legends. But I believe, how far along are we? Oh, I'm only like an hour in. I guess I should say it now. If you guys like any of the designs here and want to see more stuff like this, leave a like, leave a comment. We'll be doing Hollow Knight tomorrow, and then we'll be jumping back into Sonic next week with the release of the movie and stuff. We'll be doing a big discussion video about that probably. So I'm just waiting on most of my co-hosts to watch it. Of course, I'm going to be seeing it this weekend on Saturday with Blue. So now we jump ahead an undisclosed amount of time, and we're up to BattleNet. We're up to Legends. Humans have all been wiped out, and I figure human-robot mixtures, right? We were talking steampunk as a style, right? I think steampunk goes really well for a future like theirs. Especially for someone like Battle Network. For Volnut. A nice color coding going on here. So, Battle Network is defined by its big blockiness. Like, it is a lot blockier than any of the other series that came before it. But the robots are a lot more human-like. Like, to the point where it's indistinguishable. Actually, one of the best comments I've seen about it is from the Archie comics. The ending for that came way too soon, and they knew it was the ending. So they wrote in a epilogue showcasing the other 10 games they didn't get to that were released at the time. A little bit of the X series, Zero, ZX, the Elf Wars, and Volnut. And by the time they get to Volnut's time, they go, "Are these robots or are these humans or machine? They're practically indistinguishable. I can't tell anymore." And it's fair, because you can't. When everything looks the same, you can't. In fact, it's to the point where these machines think they're human. And for all intents and purposes, they are. They might as well be. They're the only race left on the planet. People like MatPat like to say, "Oh, Dr. Wily or Sigma 1." I'm like, no, it's more complex than that. Actually, there's a huge video debunking MatPat on this theory, on MatPat's theories, and both of them by a guy named Reploid Revo. He's a cool guy. Go check out his channel. But me and him have actually had lore discussions before. Alright. So I'm going to give him the scarf, just as I did for Classic. Because my favorite depiction of Volnut is actually from Legends 2. What else? So, Blue, have you ever played Legends at all?
It's
What?
really hard for me to play video games.
Hmm?
Unless I'm like at a party or with friends or something, it's really hard for me to just sit and play video games.
No, that's fair. I just figured you might have played this because this is a PlayStation 1 game, so.
Nope.
Nope, okay. The Volnut's design is, I don't know, very interesting. I think it's best that we keep the mechanical style to it. I feel that if I don't, things could go a little sideways. Hey, Blue, if you're watching TV, it's alright if you go. It's fine.
What?
No, it just sounds like you're watching TV or something.
Oh, yeah, it got loud, didn't it?
Yeah, just a bit.
I had it going in the background, then this episode came on and got really loud for some reason.
Hey, background noise is always good. I've got background noise actually for the stream right now. It's just some classic tunes, but still
What
good.
kind of cartoons?
Like the soundtracks to these games, so.
Nice.
Granted, they're Genesis remixes, but still classic.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna skip ahead a bit on this playlist, because just to get something different.
starting out with something completely different.
Not completely different, but different enough. Alright, there we go. Actually, I have no idea if the chat can hear it, so... I figure we could keep, maybe slim down the shoulders a bit for Volma. If you notice with the with Zero, I made the arm pieces a bit slimmer. And for this, we're gonna bulk them up a bit, but keep that squared edge. Keep a nice, like, mixture here. But no, when it's revealed that the people in Legends are not actually human, a lot of them don't believe. Like they're in total disbelief. Like no, that can't be. Like for some of them, it makes total sense. Others of them, they're like, no, I've always been this way. I can't be anything different than I am. And that's fair, right? Like, they've always known themselves to be human. A rejection of the truth, is only natural. Especially for machines of this caliber. Even the last human on Earth who decided to go, to die, ended up even saying, no. This is humanity now. These are people. I'm happy to live out the rest of my days down here dead. And he commanded Volmut to go Maverick and die and kill him. And then take care of the rest. But they sent Volmut back down with none of his memories to hopefully destroy the plan to reset the Earth. And he ends up doing that, for the most part, but now he's stuck on the moon, and we don't know where the story goes from there. And the whole reason we don't know where it happens from that is because Legends 3 isn't out yet, so... They canceled the 3DS version of that game, so I'm just eagerly hoping that eventually we get to see Legends 3 one day. I'm not even going to do a full body for this one. It's more of the same for this guy. But the world is finally at peace with robots and machines by this point in time. Like the world is completely peaceful. Like, yeah, there's, like, minor crimes and stuff, but, like, that's pretty normal. But it's peaceful, right? Like, there's not a whole lot to worry about. You don't have a massive fucking war, nothing, like, too dramatic. It's nice. Which is a really good thing, because if it was not, that would be really depressing. Especially for a game that, in my opinion, is better than Zelda. It is probably my favorite Zelda style game out there, just because of how it plays. I've told my boyfriend many times he needs to sit and play it with me, but he has not. Even despite him getting me the PlayStation version of that game, I always had the N64 version, and recently I got the PlayStation version for Christmas, and I haven't had a chance to sit down and play it. I'm too busy doing these streams and working and art. What little time I've been devoting to newer games, newer titles. But they're known as diggers in this timeline, in this end of the timeline. They dig for energy crystals to hopefully power the city. Like, to power everything. Like, they're worth their money, their currency, their energy. They are important to society. I figure focusing on more of the aspect that these are machines, but they're also human is really important. Alright. And for Volnut, we won't give him a helmet, because it's how he's mostly been seen. It has been speculated that possibly Volnut being somebody who has been fused with Model X, which would mean he's actually Mega Man X. But, we have yet to distinguish that. Like, been permafused with Model X? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would mean Dr. Light's creation lasted for nearly 8,000 years. Because it's been speculated that possibly Volnut is like X. Never confirmed, though. Never. Because why would they want to confirm that? Of course, as far as I know, it is all speculation, because if they confirm anything, then it would upset some people. And as far as I'm concerned, it's all good. Hey, Oxide! Just doing some redesigns. How you doing today? Feel free to jump in VC if you want. I'm gonna add another one. At this point, pretty much everything in the Mavericks or everything Mavericks, the Elf Wars, Dr. Light, it's all been forgotten by this point in history. So nice and buried the lead, you know, buried the hatchet. Okay. And with that, we have the entire classic Mega Man timeline done. But I'm not done yet, because there are still 3 more that we have left out completely. But they follow a completely set of different rules. It's fun. There is Battle Network, Star Force, and X-Over, and they all follow different rules. So, how about we get to them, shall we? Welcome, Oxide.
Hello.
What do you think so far?
I absolutely love it. And I do like the drawing though. But who are the other 3 you're adding then?
So, there is Mega Man from the Battle Network timeline, Mega Man from the Star Force sequel series, and X-Over, or Over 1 is how he's known.
Gotcha.
So they follow a slightly different set of design mentality based on what they are. So how about we give myself a different row entirely to do these boys on. So we've just been through all of this from 20XX all the way up to 8000XX. So how about we jump into yeah, quite a good amount of time. So now we jump back over to 20XX. In a world without many robots. Starting with computer systems. This Mega Man is a computer program. And is half human, technically. The soul of a young boy was transferred into a computer program and turned into a net navi. And him and his twin, who is still human, solve problems for people via net battles and internet responses and whatnot. So, yeah. Have you ever played Battle Network?
I actually have not. I mostly growing up played a lot of racing games, Mario, and that's what I played on a console, but I typically was a PC kind of person. I played a lot of tycoon games and a lot of world builders and games like Civilization, things like that.
Gotcha. Well, this is a handheld series, and they are a set of action RPGs. Yes.
So, wait, RPGs or JRPGs?
I'd say just RPGs. They were made in Japan, though.
Okay.
But you had a grid of a 3x3 grid for you and a 3x3 grid for your enemy. They were linked together to make a 3x6. And then you had to shift between the panels. At the start of each round, you would draw 5 random chips or cards. And from there, you would pull them from your deck. You'd always have your Buster to fall back on in case you needed it. But right off the bat, you would only have those chips and your Buster. So each chip is worth a set amount of damage points, or maybe it'll be invis and it'll be like a guard or something like that. And your enemies would attack at you in an action setting. So it's like a mixture between a card game, Pokemon, and an action game. And it really does work. Like, it's not just thrown together to throw together. Like, it feels good to play. It had a battle element to it, and even an anime at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it got so big in Japan that they did tournaments too for a while. In fact, it is still so big in Japan that for its 30th for the Mega Man series 30th, it is Battle Network's 25th. And they have released yes, this year, and they have released more Battle Network merch by the coming days. to the point where it's kind of hard to distinguish the Battle Network series from the Classic series in some cases.
Damn. I'm amazed I haven't. I don't know how I've not. I don't know more about this game than considering how big it is. Apparently.
Yeah, they did 6 entries on the Game Boy Advance, and then a port of 2 of the games, Battle Network, both versions of 5 to the DS, and then they did 3 Star Force games. And a couple of they did a singular platforming spin-off for the GameCube, and then one for the Wonder Swan based on the and that one on the Wonder Swan was based on the anime. 2 a deck building game, 2 of them, and a remake of the first one on the DS in Japan only. And pretty much all of these games, if they weren't released originally in English, they have since had fan translations.
Now, when were these games originally released? I'm assuming back in the early 2000s.
From 2001 till 2008 or 2009.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't continued to release more of them, honestly. They're this popular.
Well, so there was a big shakeup at Capcom when Keiji Inafune left. So they didn't ever get to finish Star Force 4. Which is a real shame. Which is a real shame because it was shaping up to be the most interesting one in the series yet.
Somewhat. I would say, well, I wonder if they've ever thought about bringing, I know obviously the person is quintessential to the project, but maybe somebody else that has a similar vision or mind, and maybe going from there.
You'd think, but Keiji Inafune was actually so well known in Capcom at the time that if you so much as wanted to release a game in the West, it had to be run by Keiji Inafune first.
Oh.
Yeah, he had a lot of influence in the company. In fact, he's most of the reason why DMC Devil May Cry got made.
So but then what's Capcom been doing since if they don't have him anymore?
So, since him, they've released Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and more importantly, the director of Resident Evil 7 and the RE2 Remake basically became the head of the Mega Man franchise as well as Resident Evil.
Well, the new Resident Evil, I like Resident Evil 7. It was actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It is a really good game. Well, when they did... After that game came out, they basically went around the company and said, okay, we need to bring back Mega Man next. Since we've got Resident Evil back on track, let's do that next. And released Mega Man 11 using the same team that worked on the Battle Network games, and the game turned out phenomenal.
Maybe it sounds like there's hope for a revival of Star Force 4.
Yes, there's a lot of hope, actually, to the point where they told the Battle Network fans to just be patient.
Well, that's always a good sign.
Absolutely a good sign, so we'll probably hear something more about it later on this year. It's looking like they want to do more collections first to test the waters. And then from there they want to put out a wholly new original entry. So
awesome.
Which I'm all for.
Well, that sounds great. Well, man, I wonder. I'm gonna I'm kind of curious to see what's gonna happen when it does come out.
Mm-hmm. But if you actually want to look up what what Battle Network and Star Force look like, take a look at them.
Yeah. I'll look that up on my phone real quick. Battle Force. Battle Network and Star Force, sorry.
Yep. Both of them have a more interesting look than your standard classic. And because they're since Battle Network's a computer program, they ended up going crazy with some of these designs.
Yeah, it definitely has a very. I mean, some of the characters have a very almost Mega Man and Digimon look.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, really Digimon. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm just like looking at it like, God,
well,
the drawings look kind of.
For exclusive toy rights, they ended up going with Bandai.
Oh, okay.
So,
Alright.
yeah, they didn't have much in hand with it, but for some of the toys, you know, Bandai was all for it, especially when that came to that anime.
See, that makes sense then.
But another thing that kind of pieces this whole series together is their stories. So the Battle Network series never gets too heavy, but I recommend Star Force to absolutely anybody.
Well, I tend to like really heavy, intense plot lines. Honestly, I like a lot of really deep lore.
Then Star Force is going to be the game for you. Like
gotcha.
with
Battle Network, just not a lot of lore, I'm guessing, or is it
there's some setup, but there's not a whole lot. Like, so Dr. Light created the internet in this universe alongside Dr. Wily. But after Wily didn't get enough recognition for his work on the internet, and it was all basically hand-given to Wily, he went kind of stir-crazy and started a terrorist group known as the World 3, or WWW. There's a lot of there's a lot of early internet puns, so...
No, I know the early internet fairly well, so I was around, so yeah, I'll probably
Yeah,
get some of them.
well, it turns out that not only that was the case, but Dr. Wily also had 2 kids. One of them being Dr. Regal, the other one being an adopted kid named Colonel. And, you know, that goes somewhere. But, there's not a whole lot to it. But when it comes to Star Force, that's where things get really interesting. Because instead of it just being, okay, there's an internet thing, let's just jump on the bandwagon, they decided to really sit down and plan out a storyline. So
yeah, I like a good storyline, honestly.
Alright, well then, get ready for this. So, the year is now 21XX, the internet has been safe for a very long time, the world has been at peace for a very long time, the human race is absolutely thriving. They've since, net navies have become basically like companions and toys, but not really necessary, and they've come up with this new technology known as transers. They're kind of like cell phones, but on your wrist. They are used for just about everything. Well, a young boy named Geostellar has recently lost his father in space. And he has basically become very depressed and very secluded from the rest of his classmates and peers. Until one day, an alien crashes down from space and fuses with Geo to become Mega Man. However, now he is recognized. Now the police force that takes care of problems on the EM wavelengths recognize him as a virus and think he's probably causing some problems. So, as Mega Man, you have to stop. These aliens from coming down because, well, the aliens want to kill everybody. They want to take over the planet and kill every human being because they don't see humans as a life force. But to survive on the planet, they have to merge with humans. And along the way, it turns out that Omega Sis did in fact know Geo's father, and Geo learns to open up and come out of his shell. And it tackles themes of depression and self-guilt and how to handle emotions. And, you know, this kid's only like, you know, the age where puberty starts hitting, so, like, they tackle a lot of...
11, 12.
He's only like 13, 14 when it starts.
Yeah.
And he gets to mature, and by the time the Battle Network Star Force 3 happened, we've already seen this kid grow up into his 17. He's almost 17 by the time that game happens. And you've seen him really, you know, open up and start helping people more. And by the time the fourth game happened, they were going to reintroduce the Hakari family, who he was the protagonist of the first game, Lan Hakari and Mega Man. They were going to reintroduce him with his like great grandson, who is a cyber criminal.
Gotcha.
And you were gonna become an outlaw from the run of the law, whereas the last game you had just helped the officers. So
The negative is basically you're fighting against what you just said in a juxtaposition. Interesting.
yeah, but since they didn't get to finish it, that's all we know about that canceled game.
Gotcha.
There is a bit of a story there, a bit of plot. There's a lot more to it, and it's really good. I recommend the game to anybody who's struggling with depression because it knows its stuff. Like,
I've been so something I recently started watching only because I've finally been able to get around to doing it. I finally actually felt good enough just felt okay enough that I could actually finally get back to. I could finally start watching it. Was the series of The Boys on Amazon Prime?
oh, that's a good series.
It's so good, but oh my god! It makes you rethink superheroes. B, wow, it messed up.
You know,
people are.
I need to watch the animated one. They animated.
Yeah, I've seen the animated one. Homelander's actually not quite as evil in the animated one, surprisingly enough. He's actually a lot less. He's regretful about his actions, which is saying a lot. He actually regrets doing bad things. So
really, that's interesting.
Yeah, he's not. He's not like he still does awful stuff. Don't get me wrong. He still like really fucks up and hurts a lot of people, but he actually shows remorse and regret about having done it. So it's different, but Homelander is literally a villain. He's not a hero. He's just. But then again, so are all of them. Even like, because like obviously the whatever the hell the name of the guy is, it's supposed to be the equivalent of the Flash is evil.
Well, like they're not meant to be all black and white, so.
I don't even think I don't know. To me, they're literally
they're evil, but they're not like
They're villains in sheep clothing.
Yeah.
I mean, Stormfront. She's literally a villain. No, the only person I actually start being slightly okay with was the only person I'm actually okay with is Queen May or Queen Ma. God, I'm not gonna say her name right. But Queen May, I give She's okay, and then Starlight, but only because she was there so early on. She hadn't yet really been corrupted, so.
Yeah.
But they're okay. Everyone else is just hot garbage.
Oh god,
So
the fucking Invisible Man.
he's awful. I was so happy when he finally, they finally got rid of him, or like he was killed. I'm glad about that. He was just.
Oh yeah, he was creepy.
That's probably the nicest way to put it. Nah, he was awful. All of I don't like. That's the only thing that at first was really hard for me to get around that series. Was I literally hated everybody in that series. There were so few people that actually like. I was like, wow, they're actually decent people. The only people that were decent were the boys, and that's it. Or everyone else, all the seven and everybody else, and then the head of the Volcom. Everyone else was just awful, awful people that I'm just like, man, all of you suck.
So now, oop, hang on.
Oh,
My headphones got disconnected.
ooh, did the batteries die or?
No, the cable got disconnected.
Okay.
So I finished up with the redesign of EXE. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Let me do. Why is the quality on this thing so? I want higher. No, I don't want it to go. I'm just adjusting the quality of my thing because it's being really dumb. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Fits nicely
I
along.
really love
Fits nicely along the other
Yeah.
ones, but
it. I like it a lot. I cannot wait to. Are you planning on coloring all of them in, or are they going to be kind of like this, like the?
they're gonna stay like this, I believe,
Okay.
unless people really, really want me to. Honestly, if they want to see me finish coloring this, like somebody tip me like some money in the PayPal below, and I'll do it. But as far
Really?
as yeah, that's right. I'm fishing for some cash a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, come.
But I mean,
I like it.
Uh,
I really like how it looks.
so next up we've got Geostellar. So, oh boy, I don't know how I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna be real.
Just write his name. That's it.
Just
No,
right.
don't even draw. Just Geostellar. Well, where is he? He's right there. See? Look.
Yeah, stick figure. Well, no, because his design is really good, and I don't know how I'm gonna mess with it at all. Like he is just, I don't know. Like you can tell me, like just kind of take a gander at it, but like, I don't know. I just always really liked it.
All right. See you, Foxono. Foxono has to leave the stream. So.
Aw, it's all right, bud. So I have no idea what I'm gonna do for Geo.
Oh, by the way, I think I'm gonna be commissioning you again later this month because I'm interested in seeing. Do you draw badges at all?
I can. I've done them before.
I'll commission you later this month. I have 2 badge ideas in mind. I'd like you to draw them.
Yeah, I could do it.
Excellent.
Granted, I don't know. I don't have any way to print them out, but I can, totally.
Oh, don't worry. I've got ways to print them. I just need the drawing, and I can't draw at all. So, and you can. So I will be.
I can't draw at all, but you can. So, you can fucking draw.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, look, it's a talent. I don't have any of that shit. The only thing I can draw are like, I could draw engineering drawings and diagrams with turbines and pumps and shit, but that involves a bunch of straight lines and a few curves. So it's not too difficult as long as you use a ruler. But anything else that requires shading or creativity or color, yeah, no, I can't do that stuff. You're better off. Yeah, no, I can't do that. So
Hey, it's all good. Actually, I think I know what I'm gonna do with this. I think. I probably did a terrible job at selling these games for everybody.
I'm interested in the game.
Yeah, I plan on playing through at least Battle Network 1 of these days.
Okay.
Or at least the Japanese remake, because it's good.
I want them to come up with a game. Well, I've already seen one like it, but I want to see an immersive game about operating a nuclear reactor. That's what I want.
That's what you
That
want?
would be so cool.
That'd be interesting.
It'd be really cool to see. Although, granted, they do have that thing in Roblox at nuclear power plant, which is not. It's pretty solid considering considering it's Roblox. So it's actually a um, decent setup.
Mm-hmm. I
Although I don't have Roblox. So.
I'm gonna look up some remixes real fast.
All right.
There we go. So, maybe I should do a little bit of history here for me and Star Force, because there is a little bit. I actually wrote off the entire Battle Network and Star Force series the first time I tried it. So I had just got done at my father's, and I had played the NES for the first time, and I was really intrigued by this game called Mega Man 6.
Mhm.
And I was looking for more of these games, and all of a sudden we walked into Walmart and saw Battle Network 3. Or no, Star Force 3, and I ended up picking it up, and I got really confused and oh, and I got really confused because it was not a platformer. It was an RPG. And I didn't like reading. I loved the battle system, but I didn't understand it at all. To the point where I had to restart the game a couple times because I just did not understand at all what I was doing. And it wasn't until I watched a full playthrough and breakdown of the Battle Network games that I started to understand and appreciate Star Force. But I
also just came back. Sorry, I lost connect temporarily.
Oh, you're good. I was just talking about how I was originally wrote off the entire Battle Network and Star Force side of this franchise by playing the game and not understanding it.
Yeah.
They've actually put out some recent art that is official of Star Force, showing what happened after the third game. And apparently the entire cast went to college, so that's good.
Including Mega Man?
Yeah, Geo went to college.
Oh.
I mean, he's just well, they didn't literally show anything else other than just like, oh, they're in school uniforms, but they're college uniforms.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they studied though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I believe Geo would probably do aerodynamics and space engineering.
That makes sense.
For the rest of the cast, no fucking idea.
Theo, what did you study? Shakespearean literature.
What?
What? What?
You kidding me, right? Boy, you've been to space your entire for like literally half a game.
I bid my thumb at thee, villain. I'm sorry. What was he quoting? I think he's quoting Shakespeare. Are you quoting Shakespeare? Oh God, bullets. Something like that.
Oh god, guns.
Yeah, no, it'd actually be kind of funny if you did something just totally unexpected, just because you wanted to. I'm sick of space and fighting. I'm gonna go become a English teacher in high school.
Actually, it makes sense for Geo to become a school teacher, probably.
Well, yeah, he does like helping people, so yeah, he'd probably go into something like that, or maybe like, yeah, he could do that. Although it'd probably not be exactly the best use of all of his powers, and I'm sure the alien that fused with him probably be like, hey,
Bored as shit.
yeah,
Omega Sis is literally the funniest bastard. I have to show you out of context clips from the anime. It's fucking hilarious.
that would be excellent. I definitely got to see some of this. It makes me almost think of God. It makes me think of some of. It makes me think of a Parasite because
It kind of is, in a way.
well, because what did he call him? Migi, because Migi was pretty damn funny, and then the Migi resub, that was like the parody version, was really really funny. Um, but yeah, I really enjoy Parasite. That's what it makes me think of. Parasite and also Venom, but Venom is
Venom's a little different.
yeah, Venom's not quite the same, but Parasite is what I kind of immediately think of because aliens, they come down to Earth, they want to eat everybody and take over their bodies.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want to eat them completely, just their brain.
That's zombies, Francis.
Well, what Omega Sis ends up doing in like one of the episodes is, after fusing, Geo hasn't been going to school. He's been doing homeschooling. So Omega Sis doesn't know what school is, and the minute he hears what school is, he's like, I want to go. I want to go to school. Geo, I want to go. And then they end up going, and the next fucking clip is, Geo, I'm bored. Do something.
And can Geo, is he the only one that can hear Megasis?
Yes. At first.
So is it like he hears him through his head, or is it like Parasite where like a little mouse shows up and he starts talking to him?
So remember the transers things that I was telling about? Everybody has one on their arm.
Yeah.
If he talks quiet enough, it'll only come through like maybe he was listening to, like, maybe it's some white noise in the background. Omega says yells loud enough, it's like playing music on a speaker.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So everybody hears. So I'm assuming sometimes in class people hear this random angry voice complaining about being bored.
Yup.
See, what would get really funny is if they eventually and maybe it happens, I don't know, but they eventually discover Omegasis, and then the teacher ends up having to tell Omegasis to be quiet and pay attention to class or something.
Actually, so they end up finding out about Omegasis, but it's because the teacher gets possessed by one of the FMEs.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Like, literally, anybody who Geo goes around, pretty much their lives get fucked up because of these damn things.
So other aliens can detect each other.
Yes.
Like Parasite.
Yeah. So these aliens end up basically coming down and fucking with everybody for a while because they want to capture Omegasis. Omegasis basically stole a key that would destroy the planet Earth, and then allow them to continue to destroy planets as they go throughout the galaxy. But Omegasis said, no, because I met a nice human, and we ended up accidentally killing him, or so it seems. So let's not destroy the Earth.
And then the other ones are like, nah, bruh, we're gonna destroy this.
Yeah, so they're like, we gotta get the key back. Let's go fucking kill Omegasis.
Gotcha.
But once that's all settled and stuff, okay, well, where do we go from there? Because now none of the aliens want to destroy the Earth. Well, how do they coincide with humans? Not the best, as it turns out.
Yeah, I don't know how you would coincide when they have to possess humans to survive.
Well, they can live in, like, the transers and stuff, so they can live on a digital realm, but they want to be ethereal, so...
Robots? That's what I would think of as robots. Build robots and put them on there.
Well, they ended up making these holographic robot style things that people could see, but known as wizards, but they don't end up doing anything too interesting with them. Or at least not yet, because, they were introduced for one game.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do anything interesting with them when you only have one game to work with them. But
I need to see, or I want to see, I want to see another version. I want to see them expand more on that in particular, at least, because that is an interesting plot line. How do you bring them into the world? Because I mean, like, first, or how do you make them satisfied with the world? Because like, even like, so, and then going back to Parasite, towards the ending, it shows that, oh, they develop a taste for something that's not, human, or they develop a taste for like other meat that's acceptable by human standards, but they don't really go into it more than that. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Can't we know? Don't we get to learn more about what happens to all the aliens that are continuing to rain down on the planet and taking over people?
yeah, and then this is more of they had a chance to, and they can't yet. Like I desperately want to know more about, like, okay, so now that there's all these aliens and everybody's got an alien, what about somebody who doesn't have an alien? Like, what then?
Well, they go and then they like find an alien. They're like, alien.
Well, no,
Is
because
that-
they have to have the same like energy signature as themselves to fuse.
Gotcha.
So like, Bud's got Taurus, Geo's got a Omegasis. Uh, there's Harp Note and Sagittarius. Yeah, Harp Note and whatever her name is. I can't remember right now.
Wait. Oh, okay. I was thinking for a second you were starting to talk about. I don't know why, but I heard Taurus. I thought you were about to say Sagittarius. I'm like, wait, they're going by star signs.
Yes, they are actually.
Wait, what?
Yep.
But they're going by astrology though. Why?
I don't know, but it's really interesting the way they handle it. It's actually constellations. So constellations and star signs and stuff.
It just. Oh, that's so confusing to me.
It is. But if you see the designs, you're like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, it probably looks really cool. I guess I'm just. To me, it sounds like it's not a game that tries too hard to make the science to really make sense per se. More so, it's just kind of like, the science happens and, we're more focused on the plot.
Yeah, the Battle Network series focuses on the science making sense, but Star Force, they kind of gave up a little bit.
That's fine. But a lot of it's difficult for games like, if you have a sci-fi, it's kind of, you have to jump through a lot of hoops to try to make the science sound reasonable or make sense, because really the only time it makes sense is if you're in a actual like realistic, modern day setting game. Other than that, you're kind of
like
against straws.
Like with Battle Network, it made a little bit more sense. By the end of that series, the Net Navis can transfer into robots and live out their days. Humans, exist with the internet and whatnot. You don't technically need a Net Navi to navigate the internet, but it really does fucking help. Like, everything's connected to the internet. Okay, well, it's like that in the real world now. How the fuck did they guess this bullshit back in 2003?
Well, I think it was a natural progression based on how things were going. Like, everything, like, they were thinking about, Like even back, they were thinking about refrigerators that could be hooked up into the internet back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, like, it was just the natural progression of things that they were going to eventually move to being more connected. Oh, and Revolta, we were talking about the Mega Man series and kind of the stuff behind it and
Some of the more weird idiosyncrasies.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are redesigning the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotta change my audio. There we go.
So,
That's what I got so far of Star Force. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that because he is a really tough design to top. I really don't even think I did it. Like, that was just a redraw for the most part because I it's a good design and I can't prove it. It's too good. They had 3 games to iterate and they did really well.
so what you need to do, just because it'd be hilarious, is in the background, very, very, very small bit, just like a tiny little bit you could never notice anyway. Have like a random drawing of Sonic, not Sonic, Sonic, and then just have that throughout the Mega Man series. Just he shows up randomly.
Actually, so when they did the cartoon Fully Charged, I think it was 2017, 2018, they actually did put a Sonic reference in.
Oh, really?
In the first episode, they, in the first fucking episode, I kid you not, Mega Man saves, stops his burning building, saves somebody, and this random ass robot goes, "You're like a blue streak! Blue streak! Blue streak!" No, I'm Mega Man! Blue streak!
Nice.
Yeah. Which is great. They kept that running gag going throughout the entire series.
That's perfect.
What was it?
What would be even better is if at some point he saves a bunch of animals from a pet shop or something, and they're all. It's like, oh, it's like, wow, we're all be. It's like, oh wow, we're a bunch of little forest crews. We've been saved from the burning fire by the blue streak. No, I'm Mega Man.
Yeah, no, they didn't do anything like that. It was kind of like a one and done, and they only pulled it back out for the final episode, but it was funny.
Yeah, I do like that. It kind of. I know that. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't anything official. It was. Do you remember in College Humor when they did Sonic Unemployed?
Yeah, that's all unofficial.
Yeah, obviously.
There was an official crossover though.
Oh, there was. I didn't even realize that. I was thinking because I remember College Humor. They made fun of that. They had a unofficial crossover between Sonic and Mega Man, but I didn't realize that there was an official one.
In 2015 or so, they did the Archie comic book series where Sonic and Mega Man were going on, and they did 2 crossovers.
Oh.
That spanned across like 14 or 15 issues.
Huh.
And it was good.
That is awesome. I didn't even know about that.
Alright, so now I get on to someone I'm going to need some reference material. So, let's see here. And I'm gonna need to explain this because it's really fucking confusing. So we've just been over 2 entire timelines, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not too unheard of or unreasonable. But what if the timelines just started falling apart for reasons?
What would you do? That's a good question.
Yeah, so that was a question that was asked at one point in time. And they made a game off of it for mobile devices, and it was alright. It's
Mhm.
called It was called Mega Man X Over, and it didn't come out in the States because the reception to the Japanese launch was not good. It
So
was
they didn't even take the time to make it into the States.
Yeah, despite them having a logo and everything. So Dr. Light is missing, Dr. Wily is missing, and for some reason, Reploids and things from the future are ending up in the past, and timelines are crossing over. So Dr. Cossack studies a Reploid, finds out what makes it tick, and creates creates technically the quote-unquote first Reploid called X-Over. And I don't know. I don't know how to best explain it. He's a cool ass design, but they are basically just war machines built to protect. Instead of having a copy core like classic, he kind of just is. He's given the ability to mimic and replicate other Reploids, robots, net navies, and just kind of borrow their powers. And you can look up their designs, because they're all pretty neat, but some people...
So,
yeah?
so I was gonna say, so do they end up finding out what makes them go back into the past? Is it just some random time machine gets put around somewhere and then everything breaks down? I'm guessing.
Yes, they do end up finding it out, and they're currently playing through that storyline, kind of, in the most recent entry.
Gotcha.
So there's a game called X Dive that came out, and it's kind of in the timeline and yet on the outskirts of the timeline. And essentially, Sigma invaded the time stream because he's a virus, and he got that powerful at a point in time. And essentially was wrecking shit for everybody. And took all of the heroes out of the picture, so that way then he could, go back in the past and make his will the only will that existed. And through doing that, ends up crossing over into different timelines and the like. And so I didn't mention this before because it wasn't really necessary, but the internet works weird in Battle Network.
How?
So they attempt to make sense of this, but essentially the internet was so expansive and powerful. Basically, what they built ended up traversing not only time but space.
Itself?
Yeah. So you end up with a different. So you end up with a mildly ethereal internet on the other timelines because they made the internet too good.
Well, right there, huh?
I hope that never happens with our internet, ever.
Ah,
I do not. Our internet is not worthy of being ethereal.
I don't think it'll be ethereal, but I mean, with some of the revelations that have come and gone within the past couple of years of science, I mean, it's looking more and more likely that it might have just crossed over in universes a little bit, you know?
What, our internet?
Yeah. I don't know if you've kept up to date with some things, but only a couple of years ago they found instances of multiple realities.
Well, I mean, we live in. Well, I know we live in. I know we live in technically 9 dimensions. The other dimensions are just wrapped up in themselves, essentially. But
Yeah.
I haven't heard of the multiple reality thing.
Yeah, it's confusing, and I still don't fully understand all of it, but that's something to research and look into.
I'm kind of curious. I'll look that up a little bit because
Yeah, it's
I
I don't know what it's like. I don't know. It's only been a couple of years ago that I heard about it, and I didn't look into it very much because I was like, okay, I'm scared now, but cool.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out it's how it is. I mean, I know, like I said, I know there's multiple dimensions, more than three, but in terms of multiple realities, and I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either, but I'm also like, okay, that's concerning. How did you find out
Well,
that existed? Oh, well, particles.
I mean, and that's exactly how we found out about multiple dimensions, particles, because you have a set amount of energy that after a certain point it plateaus when it should be continuing to rise, and they theorize the extra energy, quote unquote, is not detectable by our three-dimensional configurations and instrumentation, and instead is essentially, quote unquote, transcended into a higher dimension.
Well, I mean, it's that, and then there's also like the. Have you heard about the mirrors? The way particles interact with mirrors.
Are you referring to entangled particles?
I'm not sure what it's called exactly, but essentially they flip around which way they go instead of going the proper direction, as if they know they're in a mirror.
Well, that's just reflectivity from a. I mean, mirrors just that's just a
Well, no,
reflect.
no, no. What I mean is it's like the spin of a particle is completely separate in a mirror, like it's not the same.
Are you? Oh wait, hold on. You're referring. Are you? I think I know what you're referring to. You're referring. There's. It's a. It was actually what they were trying to use to determine how it was. I know what you're referring to. Basically, it's a I don't want to say it's a paradox, but essentially it's a measurement of a particle spin, and it's actually what determined that entangled particles do exist, but they couldn't figure out why they exist, or how it is that information how is it that they are able to transfer information between one another
Yeah,
without having. Yeah, I know what you're referring to. That was something that was done back in the 90s, actually. But they the particles you measure the particles as they're split and they go to different ends, and then it ends up being that they had their spins reacted accordingly with one another, which didn't make any sense, and there was no way that they could possibly do that. And then Einstein had a theory about them carrying packets of information that allowed that to happen, but then that was proven wrong at Bell Labs, so we still don't really know why they do it. We just know that they exist, we know that they can, but we have no we have never detected anything between them, any kind of information transfer, any kind of energy transfer, nothing that indicates why it occurs the way it does. Because the other thing is that they technically violate the law. I mean, they violate relativity, and they also violate the principle of speed of light being the maximum speed physically possible for anything, because it's instantaneous, and instantaneous means you have to be going infinitely fast. So we don't have any idea how it's possible. There's theories, but it's spooky.
it
It's kind of spooky.
it is absolutely terrifying, the implications, because I've always assumed that was like it was based on alternate realities and stuff, and then just reading one day, oh yeah, there probably are. We found some sort of evidence, but we don't have any way to connect it all. And I'm like, Oh, joy.
Yeah, problem is um, quantum mechanics and relativity don't art the current theories don't play nice, and trying to find a unified theory is one of the most difficult things that has been attempted in all of
Multiple.
recent science.
Yeah. I
'Cause-
So essentially, science is a jumbled mess. Good luck figuring it out.
well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, and that's the thing. We have like, because like there's theories like string theory, there is quantum field theory, and there's quantum electrodynamics or QED, and they work sometimes, and then other times they don't work, and then other times we get results and we're like, yeah, that result's nonsense. So like it gives you this answer, just cut off that part of the answer because that part's nonsense. So just sweep it under the rug, just pretend it doesn't exist. So
Even though you have to acknowledge it at some point.
it, we acknowledge that we get it. We just
Don't
pretend
because
that
we
it's
don't know what to
nonsense.
do with it. Essentially.
Exactly. So like, but none of them are aptly describing everything that happens all at one time. So we really, honestly, it's it's above my area because I'm an engineer. I take the science that's discovered by physicists and all them, and I figure out how to build stuff out of it and how we can use it to create devices that can do various experiments or build upon that. But in terms of the raw, like actual science itself, that is like a theoretical physicist's job, or an actual physicist. That's their area. So
Yeah.
I know of it. I just don't know
anything
beyond that.
which is fine. But as far as these redesigns go, which one is your favorite?
Ooh, I. I'm having a tough time deciding between EXE or Zero. uh, I'm just gonna give it a 50-50 split between those two. They're my favorite. I can't decide which of the two.
Blue, how about you?
I'm alright. I really do like the Star Force.
Alrighty.
I'm between Star Force and X myself.
Gotcha.
Which one is your favorite one, Gavin?
You asked me to pick between some of the best things, the best designs I've ever done.
Choose between your creation.
Fuck! I like
Which child is your favorite?
I like them all.
Yeah, really, there we go. That's the question.
I like them all, personally. I think probably my best drawn one... The best drawn one here is probably Zero. It's probably my best designed one out of all of these. But I still like the way Star Force's head turned out. I just wish I would have drawn the body a little different.
Gotcha.
But I think
Well,
I have to give it to Zero. But what did you guys think? Leave a comment down below telling me what you think of all of these designs. And if you enjoy watching me draw, subscribe and leave a like. We'll be doing Hollow Knight tomorrow. And if you guys want a commission from me, I have a Discord link in the description below. If you want to support this channel even further, you can also, just donate to the PayPal link below. Anything else from you guys?
That's all. That's all from me right now. But it's been good, man.
Alrighty. With that, I think I'm gonna call it here. Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.
Later.